Finally, the moment a couple of you have been waiting for.
It's all like bing bong, Jack.
Coming to you from an undisclosed location in Duval and St. Johns County. The show for Jag fans by Jag fans.
You can't have a newcomer come in and steal the show.
Here are your hosts, Franklin and Michael how you say it? DeZoba. Welcome to the Jaggernaut Podcast.
Ladies and gentlemen, kids of all ages, want to welcome you back to another Jaggernaut Podcast. It's Michael. As always, I got my brother Franklin with me. Frank, who we're repping?
Duval!
That's right. We're a few days delayed. Frank, you've been under the weather. I'm sorry. Hopefully you're feeling better. Well, hey.
The show must go on.
Got a big game coming up this weekend, man. We're going to need you at full go.
To will them.
Yes, we will will them to victory as a community.
Yep.
Anyway, let's start off by discussing the Colts game. All right, so I don't know if you've heard, but Brandon Sheriff is hurt again. Do you know that? Yay!
He practiced today.
He took one game. Yeah, mildly.
Mild practice, yeah.
Yeah. What I didn't like was Luke Fortner. He's hurt, also with an ankle. But Peterson, during his press conference, said that he's further along. I don't know what that means. You're either healthy or not. What do I know? Other than that, we came out of the game pretty much unscathed, but it is the interior of our offensive line and the interior of our offensive line did not look great against the Colts. Now, the Colts have a good defensive front, but they're not world beaters.
Right.
And we were not able to push them off the ball. We had the same problem last year.
Right.
We've been harping on it all off season.
Yep.
We did nothing to fix it. And here we are again, game one, seeing the exact same issues. What do you think?
Well, what I think is that we have a coach that likes to go for it on fourth down. We did it quite a bit, and we didn't make it quite a bit against the Colts. Toward the beginning, we started doing it right up the front. Tank Bigsby couldn't do it. Trevor Lawrence couldn't do it because the offensive line got zero push. They could. It's kind of a weird thing, the offensive line. They couldn't push toddlers off a playground. It seems like to me, up front. That's probably. It's too hyperbolic, but it's kind of like how you feel because I know
like
these
that
are
analogy.
Yeah,
I like that analogy.
Well, they're going up against athletes, right? I mean, so I get it. They're not going to win every battle, but they lose way too many of them. This is the problem. When we got to get a yard, we can't get half a yard. I mean, that's basically where we're at with the guys up front. I want to say, well, you look at Luke Fortner and you think, well, he's kind of a big guy. Doesn't necessarily mean he's strong. Maybe he's too high. It's low center of gravity. Or tall center of gravity, the opposite of the center of gravity that you want. But yet you look at DeForest Buckner, and that's a tall dude, and he's just blowing crap up all day long. So I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's technique. I don't know if it's the need to. My thought process is he's a guy. He was a rookie last year, and the hope would have been that he would have gone into the weight room, got some more strength, been able to move people off the ball. I don't know what Sheriff's excuse is. Well, no, we do know what Sheriff's excuse is. Last year, he wouldn't play well because he played injured all year, as opposed to not playing, which I guess is good. I guess that's what you get with Sheriff. He's not going to play well because he's injured, or he's not going to play because he's injured, which is basically what Sheriff has been for us. So he did have an injury history coming in, but that's the negativity of it. I mean, that's the negative part of it. There's the positive part. We won the game. We scored 31 points. That's the most we've ever scored in Indy. We usually don't win in Indy. And so I think that all things being said, here. I think that's the positive, right? We're fans. We're always going to find the negative, but
A
I
little
think
bit.
that's the
But I
positive.
want to, I want to throw out there our sacks too. Right? Last year we weren't getting sacks, so we came away what 4 or 5 sacks in this game.
I don't
I
know
think it
the
was
number. I
4 or 5.
know Allen had 3.
I know Josh Allen had 3. Now some of them were because, well, Richardson wanted to run, and that's another thing that sort of pissed me off as I was listening to the commentary of the national media, not the local media, but just the national media, and they were talking that he played well. If that's playing well in the NFL won't win you very many games.
Anthony
He
Richardson, you're
had,
talking about?
yeah, I don't think he
Well,
played that great. He
okay,
had what 3? He had 3 completions, right, over 10 yards, right.
yeah,
So he
but
didn't push the ball at all. Right, he was too prone, I think, to move too soon. If I'm saying,
I
his
felt like he
running
played good.
ability, his running ability was good. I don't have an issue. I never had an issue with his running ability coming in. It was always if you can keep him in the pocket and make him pass, you can beat them. And it looked like that's no different.
Well, I mean,
That's what I'm saying. So
well, here's the way you got to understand what they're saying. You're talking about a guy who's never played. This is Anthony Richardson, who barely played at Florida. He's a first round draft pick, totally based on his skill set, which didn't translate in the NCAA. So he goes into the NFL, which is a whole different level. So he played well, relatively speaking, right? I mean, would you say that? I mean, Trevor Lawrence played bad his first year for the most part, predominantly speaking,
yeah, I would say
and
that.
everybody said that Trevor mostly was ready to go. You know, so this is a guy who was by all rights considered in the same vein as Josh Allen, which is going to take a year at least for him to get going. So I think that's what people are saying. I thought he played poise. I thought he had poise. Um, I thought he used his athletic ability, which is what you'd expect him to do. But yeah, I didn't think he. I think it was a
Okay.
close
I
game,
was just
relatively
like,
speaking.
I was
So
just trying to figure out. So what you're saying is based off of his experience in college, based off his coaching staff, based off what we saw out of him in college, he played well for himself. Because when I was looking at it, I don't think he played well for an NFL starting quarterback.
well, he played well enough to give us some problems. So, and we're
Anyway,
supposed to be a playoff team.
Josh Allen had a good game. The guys up front on our defense had a pretty good game. Linebackers and safeties were out of position quite a bit, but they seemed to get better as the game went on. They actually did pick on Campbell a little bit, but Campbell got him back with a pick. So I like that. Other than that, man, anything else jump off at you? Anything you like? Walker Little graded out as our highest, which if that continues to go, no way in hell you put Cam Robinson back in there at left tackle.
Well, our tackles weren't our problem. It was the interior line. We already discussed
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So what jumped out at me was Tank Bixby. I think and this is something that I mentioned. I think we needed to have not been, or let's just say this: can we slow down the Tank Bixby train here? Um, he looked like a rookie. He played like a rookie. That that was a pretty bad attempt at a catch. That now I know Lawrence was
Overthrew it.
high. It
Right.
wasn't that high though. He left his feet. He was flopping in the air. He didn't even get his arms stretched out all the way, and it cost us a turnover. So um, then he also, and the one thing, that weird play that happened where,
I cannot put that on him.
yeah, that one's tough, but it adds to it. It
Right. No,
adds to
I
the
get it.
day. It adds to your
Yeah.
feeling. So my thought about that is when you compare that to the way that ETN played, I think that what you have to say is, look, let's slow the Tank Bigsby. He's a great guy to have to back up ETN, but ETN is our starting running back. He's our starting running back for a reason, and people are a little too quick to jump on that talent that they saw in the preseason and in training camp. And I think, whoa, let's calm down a little bit. Travis Etienne scored like 40 something more touchdowns in college than Tank Bigsby did, okay? There's a reason for that. So we've got a great starting running back. Let's cool our jets on Bigsby. He's a nice backup. And in truth, other than that one play where he almost got in the end zone, he didn't push the pocket much. And that was the issue. That anyone who thought that guy is going to change our short yardage game, you better think differently if our offensive line is completely unable to get half a yard push. And that's what I don't want to spend too much time on that. We covered that, but that's the thing, and that's what he was brought in for. So let's work him in as he feels more comfortable. That's the thing. Tank Bigsby, slow it down.
All right. Sounds good to me. I don't have anything else. I got Jamal Agnew. Way to show up on that punt return. That was huge.
That was really huge.
That was huge at a critical point in time in that game.
Yep.
Because that helped swing the momentum back to us. Because when we took it down and we finished it with a score, that put Indy on the ropes. And then after that, it was over.
And I think the thing is this isn't just the Trevor Lawrence show. Okay, the Trevor Lawrence show. I mean, you got to have a good quarterback to really compete for the high up in the NFL. Everybody knows that. But this is actually a pretty good football team. And
it does seem so, sir. It does seem so.
The defense played pretty good, I thought. And, again,
the wide receivers played great. Ingram, Zay Jones, Calvin Ridley.
I'm glad you brought that up. So
Christian Kirk.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So there was the four passes that Trevor threw that were low percentage passes, right? And that sort of circulated. And here's some of the things that I've got some issues with that, though. Let's take the one where Trevor's throwing it, and talking about threading the needle between those two guys.
The one where they got hurt.
Yeah.
The two Colts got hurt. Yeah.
Luke Farrell was open up underneath. I'm a little nervous that we've got a guy that's taking a double team. Okay, he got it in there. Great. I'd prefer the guy that just shot it down to the guy who was open. That's what if I'm going to be critical, we love the arm, we love the display. That's going to bite us. That's going to bite us in crucial games. And you got to take what the defense gives you.
And maybe it will, but you want your guy to have a bit of that gunslinger mentality.
I agree.
And
just
that's
pull it
what
back
we saw.
A notch.
The Zay Jones touchdown, right? That's one of your low percentage ones, right?
That one's fine.
He put it the only place where Zay Jones could get it, but he gave his guy a chance. Zay went and got it.
Yeah.
The one to Evan Ingram down the sideline. Again, dropping a bucket right where it's supposed to be. My deal is, yes, you want them every now and then. You want them to sort of take the easy completions, but you don't want them to be kept in captain check down. And the thing is that I can't see what Trevor was looking at, because it's possible Trevor never even saw the same guy, rolling the same way. Maybe he just saw that guy. Is that bad? Yeah, it's bad. But he had the arm strength to get it in there before that guy made up enough ground to mess with the ball.
Well, what
do you want, man? Do you want the gunslinger or do you want the pass?
Yeah, and that's the thing. It comes with it. And the fact is that what we have seen from Trevor in that respect, we see the arm on display. This guy, the one, as amazing as that pass was between the two to Ridley, the other one to Ridley was the first one. That was almost even more impressive to me because of the way. So he's bootlegging out to his right, and Harrison gets beat, and Kwity Paye's like barreling down, so he has to come back to his left or come back up into the pocket. And then as he's jumping forward, launch the ball. It just seemed I don't know. That seemed hard, and I mean, the ball got there so fast. I mean, before Ridley could turn. I mean, and that's the thing too. I think I saw Brian Baldinger breaking that down. A 25-yard comeback route. You just don't see that, is the way he was saying it. And when you watch it, it was very impressive. And that one, I don't have a problem with that. So, in fairness, let me say this: those 4 passes, 3 of them, I'm great about the decision. So the pass was great, and the decision was great. The other one, I'd have preferred to just have those 3 and see a check down to Luke Farrell on the side. But you know, let's talk a little bit about.
My feeling is play your game, Trev. Don't listen to his ass. He don't know what he's talking about. Play your game.
I'm sure he didn't listen to me.
I'm sure he doesn't listen to us. Yes, you are
He
correct.
wouldn't want to listen to me. That's for sure.
All right, so are we cool with the Colts, or do you want to move on?
Let's move on. I just wanted to, before we got into the Chiefs game upcoming, I just wanted to get your idea. What are your? So this is the first week, man. We had NFL football to watch. A lot of stuff happened, man. It was a very interesting first week, and first weeks normally are. There are usually some weird games that take place that just don't accurately match what you'll see the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm.
But what are your thoughts? I mean, what jumps out at you about this season or about this week?
You know, I feel bad for the
Jets?
what are they? The Jets fans. I feel bad for the Jets fans, but it is what it is. Welcome to the NFL. You know, Aaron Rodgers, no offense, didn't look good on his 4 snaps. So, I mean, not that that's a huge thing, but he just did not look very good. But I feel bad for them. Chicago looked like ass. Everybody was talking about how great Chicago is going to be, how improved. They looked horrible. Like, they looked bad.
Justin Fields is in the same vein as Trevor.
Justin Fields.
All right.
Literally. Trevor has moved himself so far beyond the other quarterbacks that he was drafted with that it is not even funny. Like, it's not funny. Justin Fields may be athletic, but that only takes you so far in the NFL. And I'm not discounting his arm talent or even his decision making, but his team's awful. They did him no help. The offensive line isn't good. The Bengals, you want to talk about a bad offensive line? The Bengals. What happened?
There was a lot of bad offensive line play this week.
The 3-star caliber AFC teams, the juggernauts.
That's where I was wanting to get to.
They all lost. All right, there we go. So I said it. There you go. Was that weird? Yeah, it's a little weird.
Well, and if you think about it, the Jags are trying to get up into that upper echelon, and everybody, fairly, will put the Chiefs, Bengals, Bills, basically, in the AFC as 1, 2, 3. All 3 of them lost, so that is an interesting way for our perspective as a Jag fan to begin the season. And again, it encapsulates or contextualizes the fact that yes, this win against the Colts wasn't pretty, but it was on the road. It was a division foe. Now, you're not always going to have interdivision contests. Usually they don't turn out the way the Cowboys and the Giants made out. They're usually tough. So we'll take that win. And that's the thing, too. You know, there's some lessons to be learned, and you can learn it actually getting a W on the road. So that's
I'm completely happy with that. Like I said,
or be happy about
last year we had to learn how to win. This year it's learning how not to lose it.
Right.
And so and the game that I saw, even though it's week 1, went a long distance to showing that how not to lose a game.
Well,
so now in fairness, man, the Bills, how you lose to Zach Wilson? How do you lose to Zach Wilson?
Well, your quarterback has a bad game. Your quarterback plays like Zach Wilson.
Right. How do you lose to Zach Wilson? That's all I'm saying. Just putting that out there.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there. Yeah.
Well,
Detroit.
I'll tell you how.
Detroit was pretty decent last year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that sort of makes a little bit of sense with Kansas City, right? You were just talking about divisional games. So you have the Browns and you have the Bengals, and Joe Burrow looks like he ain't Joe Burrow, which maybe there's something wrong with his calf still. I don't know.
They always suck against the Browns. They often suck in the first week.
Yeah.
Joe Burrow sucked last first. He got a slow start. He didn't have a training camp. A lot of that is kind of understandable to a certain extent. I think the Browns have a damn good defense, so there's all of
Okay.
that sort of coalesced, I think, to a certain extent. Here's how you lose to the Jets, and this kind of piggybacks on my point about Trev. You don't force the ball like Josh Allen was doing. Josh Allen was just throwing the ball where he shouldn't have been throwing it against good defenses, and good defenses will make you pay when you do that. So the Jets knew once Rodgers was out, we don't know how it would have looked with Rodgers in there, but very quickly the game plan completely changed, and they knew they had Zach Wilson at quarterback. The Bills didn't know they had Zach Wilson at quarterback, but they did. That's what happened. And Josh Allen didn't play like Josh Allen, and I think that's the thing. Even I don't care. Does Josh Allen may have the strongest arm in the league, but it doesn't matter if you're going to throw stupid. You make stupid choices, and that's what he did, and he got his team hurt. So that's what I don't want Trevor to do. Get so overconfident because he's making all these amazing passes. Maybe it works against the Colts, and the Colts secondary isn't good. Their defensive front is good. Their secondary is. I'm not saying they're not good, but they're not known to be good. So that's the thing, and I hope that's what Trevor doesn't do. So on that, let's move into the Chiefs game because we got Patrick Mahomes coming into Everbank Field.
Oh, it's back to the bank.
Back to
Lock
the bank.
down the bank.
Yeah.
Dude, I hope that atmosphere is going to be just off the chain. People are going to want to be there. They're going to be yelling. Hopefully, Duval brings it, just like the Tennessee game going into the playoffs and that playoff game. I want it pumping.
Well, I've got a few points that. So when I think about the game, I guess the way I want to start here is to look at why we could win this game, or maybe even should win this game. Should's probably a bad word, but so first of all, let me talk about it in terms of Trevor versus Mahomes. So when you think of the top AFC teams, we just got done talking about Josh Allen, and you think about the AFC teams because they have quarterbacks that everybody thinks are the new. We just saw Rodgers get taken out. That was the old guard, and even when he comes back, I mean, how many more years does Rodgers have? If he comes back, so Brady's gone. You got this new regime of quarterbacks, and Mahomes is sort of a transition between them. And Mahomes is, by every standard, the number one quarterback. So who can wrest that from him? Is there anyone that can take it? So I guess what I'm saying is that could we see that it starts where Trevor begins to ascend to that same level, and does it start this Sunday?
I think Trevor can. I think he very much can. I think Jalen Hurts can. Outside of those two, I'm not sure. Maybe Burrow's always in the conversation. I think just gone past accolades. Josh Allen's always in the conversation. But outside of those, you have Herbert. We'll throw Herbert up there.
Yeah.
So they're your six gunslingers. Bye, Rodgers. See you later. It was nice when you played. I enjoyed watching you. Still the best quarterback I ever seen play live. But those are sort of your 6 new gunslingers, and Mahomes is sort of the oldest, but most experienced. He's also had the most time with Andy Reid. There's so much going into this. Can Trevor do it? Can the Jags do it? Hell yeah, we can. We're not scared. Show us our opponent.
Well, and that's the thing. So when I think about the game, this is why this is an important game, because this is a measure and stick game for not just the two teams, but the two quarterbacks. What what we saw and what we just got done talking about in regards to those 4 throws, and there were others there too, but the ones that stick out. I mean, guys don't make those throws very often. Good quarterbacks do though, and so I want to say point one is talent. Trevor. So Trevor has as much talent as probably anyone,
Okay.
except for, you know, when you're trying to think about the guys who are vying to try to go and be the next Mahomes, or not dethrone Mahomes. Allen has all the talent in the world, but his gameplay is a little too Lamar Jackson, and he needs to tone that up a little bit and become a bit more Joe Burrow. And Joe Burrow's not quite Josh Allen. So I think it's interesting because I would put Trevor in between Allen and Burrow.
Burrow.
A little bit more heady than Allen, but still the gunslinger like Allen is, but more of a gunslinger than what Burrow is. I think arm talent wise, Trevor's got more talent athletically than Burrow does. So I think talent, he's got that. He's got what Mahomes has. Also, why this week? Because Calvin Ridley. Remember, this team played decently well against the Chiefs and last year, and that was without Ridley. And the difference between the two teams as we come up against each other now is, have they improved in the same way that we've improved? I don't think they have. They didn't improve the weapons that Mahomes has, but we improved ours, and we saw that. So that's point two. You mentioned Andy Reid. Well, and I absolutely agree with that. So Andy Reid is a big reason why Mahomes is so successful. But if you think about who could be the next Andy Reid, it might be somebody from Andy Reid's tree. A disciple.
Dude, I was saying before we hired him, I want somebody from Andy Reid's tree.
Yep.
That's what I was preaching.
Yep.
We got him. Doug Peterson is our coach. Could he out? Yes, because he's already done it once. So we most certainly can do it. Will we? I don't know. You know why I don't know? Do you think that's what the NFL wants? Do you have that graphic? Put up the graphic so everybody can read this.
Oh,
Read
I
this shit.
didn't know you wanted me to grab the graphic. I didn't have the graphic.
I
Sorry.
knew you were going to do that shit. All right. Well, that's why I gave it to you. I'm like, finally something good. So I got it on my phone, and I will read it because my brother forgot to post it.
Sorry. You should. Hey, that's why we have a little bitty prep meeting, man.
I'm going to stop paying you. All right. This is from
Check's been
Gene
in the mail
Fournette.
for a long
This is
time.
from Gene Fournette's Twitter account, right? So the officiating crew that is coming in here on Sunday is led by Adrian Hill. He has saw, well, I don't know about how many, but the last 5 games that this officiating crew has done for Jacksonville, where Jacksonville has played, Jacksonville is 0-5. It's a conspiracy theory. But did the NFL already sabotage us by putting this shitheel here to officiate this game? Now, just in case you guys want to know, it's Adrian Hill. Feel free to tweet him and at least ask for a fair game. Call a fair game. That's it.
Well,
0-5. 0-5. We've never won when this guy has been officiating.
Yeah, I
or
think
at least the
that's
last 5 games.
okay. So I liked where you're going with that because here's one thing. Now, typically when you're at home, you're supposed to get if you get some sort of advantage home field, maybe you influence the refs, human nature, and they somehow side with you, and you get a little bit of a call here and there you shouldn't otherwise get. But yeah, we are the Jaguars, and maybe the Michael Jordan rules in effect a little bit.
It's always in effect. You remember Reggie Miller used to go up for a three? Nobody would touch him, and they would call a foul.
Yeah,
I
but
mean, it not only that, but watch. Um, what's his name? Jawan Taylor. Right? There's a huge emphasis. There's been an outpouring. It's funny. When he was a Jag, I'm all for it. I'm like, if they ain't calling it, he ain't cheating. You know, that was what I'm thinking. I'm like, if they're not calling it, he ain't
it
cheating.
was
He
amazing.
ain't
All
cheating.
of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, this Jawan Taylor character keeps getting off the line quick. And isn't that false start?" Like, that dude's been doing that for 2 years. I don't know where you guys
It
have
was.
been.
It's funny. It's funny because if Jacksonville maybe was a little better a little sooner and played on a more national stage, that might have been called out sooner.
That was one of the reasons why I wanted to re-sign him, because evidently he hacked the league somehow. Like, he life hacked the league
Yeah,
because he knew how to get off the line half a second before everybody else did,
before everybody else did,
and
and he
nobody
was
could say
already in
anything
his
about it.
set.
And
Okay, well now there's an emphasis. They're supposed to watch it.
yeah,
I have no confidence in this officiating crew that they're actually going to do anything about it. Now, granted, he may not be breaking any rules. Maybe he's that good, that quick, you know. But I can tell you, there were times in that game where he definitely set off the line.
yeah. But here's the thing about that too, and I know they brought that up, but um, the ref's job's to make sure that that doesn't happen. And he, my understanding is they're supposed to look at the ref and get the okay, basically. And
The
and
receivers, the receivers do that. The linemen do not.
I don't know.
You were supposed to be. It's like your half foot is supposed to be in the half foot of the other guy. So it's staggered, but that's how you're supposed to tell. Does that make sense?
Yeah. No, I understand what
And
you're
he
saying. I
he
just
was way off of that. Anyway, I do wonder if this
so you're wanting
specific
them to call Juwan
officiating.
now. Change the rules so
Yeah,
we can
no, no,
win.
no, no. I'm not asking for a
Change the
tough
way they've
rule.
been calling
Look,
Juwan
look. We
Taylor.
ain't Patriots fans. We're not going to get that. All I'm saying is that it seems fishy to me that the NFL sends in this specific crew for this specific game to protect their new darling. Tom Brady's gone. He's no longer their darling. It's obvious that Mahomes, it's not obvious, but Mahomes seems to be their new darling. So what we either need is Mahomes' brother to come out and do something stupid so that the NFL really gets mad, or we just need these guys to just call a straight game. If we lose, we lose, fine. But don't take it from us. That's all I'm asking. And
Hey, I
and
just
this
want to
guy
point out.
guy has a history of taking it from us.
I just want to point out that I think for the first time ever in Jaggernaut history, Michael is the
I
one
went
pushing conspiracy
conspiracy.
theories.
I went conspiracy. Yeah, I did.
Hats off to you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Hopefully have learned a lot from your tutelage. I hope that I have said
Yeah.
it, in solid thoughts and reasonings.
Yep. Yeah, that's all
So
you got to do. It's all about connecting the dots. It's not my fault the dots are there. I just connect them.
I didn't put him there. I didn't hire this guy to
That's right.
officiate this.
That's right. So this is something to look out for. Let's see how they're going to treat us this coming game here, and then the other thing I think that's definitely worthy of note. Chris Jones is back.
Yes.
Didn't we discuss our interior offensive line?
Yes, we did.
Also, the oft injured Brandon Sheriff. He did practice. Fortner. He showed up on the injury report, which I didn't realize he was hurt, but he also practiced. So our guys are going to be there, apparently, maybe, at 75%, I guess, against Chris Jones. I'm hoping for heat, but I saw
It
the
doesn't look.
forecast, and it was
Yeah,
like 85 with a 80% chance of rain. So,
yeah,
ugh.
yeah. It doesn't look. It does. Our only hope is that it rains early and that humidity comes in right before kickoff. That's our only hope. Otherwise, it'd just be a nice, beautiful football kind of day in Jacksonville, which we usually don't have this in.
Yeah, but look, here's how this happens though. This is a measuring stick game,
It
and
is. They still have more to lose than we do. And they
yeah,
just got beat. They're going to want this game, which means if we beat them, it's even sweeter
yeah.
because they're going to try.
I thought it was
Kelsey's playing.
I
I
thought it
don't
was
know.
hilarious. Oh, I'm sorry. I was supposed to bring. I didn't even mention Travis Kelsey. How did I get a what in the
Yeah.
world? I need to quit
Hey,
this.
that dude's playing.
Yeah, he's playing.
He ain't fooling no damn body.
Taylor Swift's boyfriend's playing.
Yep.
So that what you reminded me of was when the Chiefs lost to the Lions. I saw Jag fans lamenting that because they thought I can't wrap my mind around this. They actually thought that that meant our chances to beat them went down, which to me is crazy. So if they'd have somehow won, our chances would go up. So if they somehow squeaked out a victory against Detroit, that makes it more likely. Everything else being the same. Chris Jones comes back, Travis Kelsey comes back. You're
I
telling
can
me
see it. I
that
can see it.
a
Yeah.
little bit.
I can
See,
see
I don't
it.
buy that one bit. I don't buy it one bit.
What if they took the Detroit lightly?
It's the
And then
first
all
game
of
of the
it
season. How do you take
and then
the first people? I mean, you know you're going up against the a team that's wanting to come into your place when you're celebrating your
on
Super Bowl.
national TV.
You got all your, you don't want to turn into the New York Giants. I mean, show up and lay an egg so you're not motivated to do
Yeah.
something.
Look, I don't know, but it is possible that the Chiefs did in fact overlook Detroit.
Because they were staring at the beast
And then by
in,
the
in the
time
game coming up.
and then by the time they realized it, there was nothing they could do.
They knew the juggernaut or jaggernaut was waiting. Game two. They had to,
Game two,
they couldn't
and it
help but
could be,
stare.
yeah, it could be game two has always been circled. I mean, it's a 17 game season.
I could argue
Detroit's
this.
NFC anyway, outside of win loss, it holds no value.
I could argue this helps us because I think confidence plays a big part in this. The idea that now we're scorned and now we're more desperate. Nah, I think if you're confident, that's the team I don't want to play. That's what makes the Jags dangerous because, and we saw that in the Colts game. You could be down. This is a team that's down all the time in the fourth quarter. And
Yeah,
then they
and we
win
don't
all
care.
the time.
We don't give two shits.
We don't give a crap, man.
Nope.
And that's the thing, man. So, I think it could help us if anything. And obviously it helps us in the standings. Man, if we beat them, we'll be 2.5 games up. Do you realize that Patrick Mahomes has never played a playoff game away from Arrowhead Stadium?
Doesn't surprise me.
It's crazy when you think about it. So, hey, this is what
It's
this is what a lot of
amazing.
people have called for.
It's
Jags to
amazing.
get the
Yeah.
number 1 seed.
Well,
Starts.
it's
starts
amazing
Sunday.
what happens when you put the right quarterback with the right coach.
And we got the right quarterback. We got the right coach, and
Man,
that's
we
what
got-
makes
and-
this matchup hell of a matchup.
Hell of a matchup. If this isn't America's game of the week, I don't know what y'all are doing down there at the networks. No wonder you guys are trying to fight for scraps.
Well, it's going to be a
So-
good time.
Somebody picked Cowboys Giants last week. I bet that had huge ratings. Mm-hmm.
Well, 9/11, all that stuff. So you kind of understand what they're
In
thinking
New
is.
York, I get. The Cowboys, I don't get. It's like,
Oh, putting the
mm,
Cowboys in there?
yeah,
That's America's team, man.
dude. No, that's like That's like saying baseball's America's sport.
I don't know.
So it ain't been that since the Royd years.
Before that, that was just a reprieve from where people paid
Yeah,
attention again.
yeah, I guess. Anyway, want to thank you guys for tuning in. As always,
Duval!
Duval. Let's go, Jags. Ride those boys on out of Duval.
Till next time.